Hi, everyone. So there is a solar eclipse today and a new moon in Aries. So, as I've been saying for weeks now, I can feel this momentum of energy building up, but it feels like there are still challenges around us. And this is where the eclipse is very helpful and can come in handy because the eclipses come along and really shake things up. And with the new moon being in Aries at the same time, this is the idea of us really taking action. This is us going after our dreams. If there's any kind of new moon, it's always about starting something new, but especially when it's in the sign of Aries, because this is about our willpower and our desires and pushing our agenda forward and really going after it. So, because there's so much excitement in the air, I want to draw 3 separate ancestor cards, and then we're going to look at tarot, and I'll use 2 other tarot decks to clarify. But it just feels like there's so much going on that I want to make sure I can capture it all. So let's start with our ancestor messages and see what they want to say. So we're starting with circle back, which is an interesting way to start a new moon phase, is circling back. But we do have a lot of planets that are retrograde. Mercury is still retrograde. Venus is still retrograde. So that could have something to do with that. But let's just keep going with these messages and see what else wants to come out. But there may be a need for us to circle back on something before we take definitive action. So there's purpose. I like seeing that. It's always good to know what our life's purpose is, what our mission here is. And this is strongly being communicated by our ancestors here, that there is something about our purpose, which I love that, especially with a new moon. And this is really just about following our North Node and making the decision to really do that, to really follow our North Node and to understand what our purpose here is. And that with the circle back, it's also saying to me that it's okay if you change your mind on something, or if you want to do something a little bit differently next time, that it's okay to do that. So let's start looking at some tarot here. But this is already interesting energy. And I had a feeling with all of the excitement I can just feel in the energy anyway, that it was going to be a big read. So let's see what else. So we have 10 of Wands, the Emperor. We'll move those back. Underneath, 2 of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, 2 of Swords, 2 of Cups, 3 of Cups. And underneath everything, we have the 5 of Wands. So when I see the 5 of Wands under everything, this is that challenge I was talking about, that it feels like lately there's been so many challenges in the air, but that's where I feel like, oh, and I just saw 333 as I said that. But that's what I'm saying, where the eclipse is really going to come in handy, because the eclipse is very good about eclipsing out the challenges that are in our lives, the the petty things that come through from different people that are meant to probably teach us things. But yet, once the lesson has been learned, we can move out of the 5 energy and start getting our blessings in the 6 energy. I do see here, I'm going to jump ahead really quickly, because I do see here that we have decision that's in the same column as the 2 of Swords, which is also about a decision. So that's a synchronicity that I do not want to miss. So it does feel to me like you're just a decision away from something. And it's probably from completely changing your life because of this eclipse energy that we're in. So that's what I want to say so far, is that it really does feel like you're one decision away from something huge, because I see the Emperor here too. But let's circle back to the beginning and let's read each column and see what we're unpacking here. So with circle back, we have the 2 of Pentacles, and the 2 of Pentacles is about the same kind of energy as the 2 of Swords, in the sense that you're weighing your decisions, you're weighing out your options, and you're saying, okay, well, I thought I was going to take this action, but maybe I'm going to take this action instead. And there is a call for you to circle back, that maybe something you had once started, maybe something that you had already started investing in, something that you had already planned, or maybe some hidden talent that you possess, something that you've always sort of thought about wanting to go after, which that new moon in Aries is about, going after something, that there may be a need here for you to look at that and try to revisit what that could be, because your ancestors are asking you to circle back to that. Your purpose, it looks like there's another person here. This Queen of Wands is not you. This is someone else in your energy. And I feel like it's someone who's really influencing you. This could be a peer. This could be someone who's also doing the thing that you want to do. So, for example, if you really want to circle back and revisit that screenplay you started writing when you were in college, for example, just a random example, but you want to circle back to that and see if you can shop that around. There is a person here around you in your energy, and I think it's someone that you already know. It might not be someone you know personally, but it might be a screenwriter who really inspires you, or something along those lines, where it feels like there's a person around you that can really help you to direct your purpose or really inspire you. Or if there's something that perhaps you're afraid to start, if you really want to open up a yoga studio, but you're worried about how your family is going to receive that, for example. It may be that there's another person in your community who also owns a yoga studio who you can go talk to and figure out how that person started their venture, so that you can be more inspired to do that. That's really what I'm getting strongly from that. Then, of course, we have the decision with the Two of Swords, which we've already started talking about. And this is really saying, I feel like this is telling you you've already kind of made up your mind about something. Like, for example, the yoga studio, you know very deeply that that's what you want to do, but yet you're stopping yourself from doing it. So this decision with the Two of Swords is giving me the feeling that it's okay for you to just accept that, to stop fighting against that there's a reason you're being called to that. And there's a need here to trust the universe, that when you're being called to your purpose, to not deny that. Because again, we're saying you're one decision away from changing probably the rest of your life. So, but that's falling in your challenge position. So you're being asked to really focus on other people who do the things that you're dreaming of doing, to really focus on that right now, and to understand that that's your purpose, and they could really be influencing you, inspiring you. But again, this is going to be a tough decision for you, because I think there are things that are weighing on you that you're still continuing to go back and forth on, because you're not really sure that that's what you're meant to do, or that it's going to be received well, or that it's going to be financially sustainable, or whatever that is for you. Make that make sense. But you know what that is and why you're stopping yourself from doing it. There is a message here about you taking on the work. So it feels like this 10 of Wands is giving me this feeling that you're sinking. It's too heavy. We see the 5 of Wands here too. So there's something that's falling apart, that it's breaking your back. You can't sustain this anymore. And it looks like it has to do with a relationship, and probably a love relationship. That could be a lot of different things for a lot of different people, but I am getting an energy of someone who might be a bit controlling in the energy. And I say that because you're carrying too much of the weight. And if you're carrying too much of the weight in a relationship and there's conflict in the relationship, then generally speaking, that could mean that you're dealing with a very controlling type of person, or a very controlling type of energy. And so that's the message that's coming through, and that challenge I was talking about, the challenges that need to be eclipsed out of your life. And it looks like it's starting with a person who's in your energy, who's not going to be that, it's not going to be a long-term person for you, especially once you make this decision to follow your North Node. So this person is a peer, someone who influences, someone who inspires you, someone who you really will learn from, perhaps a mentor type of energy. This is a person who you probably need to just move on from, because they're keeping you so weighed down that you're not able to circle back and finish your purpose and make this final decision on doing that. I like this though, because I see for the outcome of this eclipse is you really are stepping into your power. This situation of having to carry these 10 swords or 10 wands and deal with these 5 wands has really made you stronger, has made you extremely disciplined. So I like this idea that you will be able to circle back and look at what it is you're meant to do while you're here, what you're supposed to push forward for humanity. That I do think that this eclipse is going to help you do that, to regain this power, that you do not have to carry these 10 wands. You don't have to. Just drop them wherever you are and make this decision and move on with your life. And with the 3 of Cups here too, there's this celebratory type of energy coming off of the fact, once you do decide that you don't need this and you do need this, that's when you're going to feel really empowered and very good about yourself. So, but I would like to clarify this with more tarot. So for circle back, we have justice. I love that. That's your karma. That's your karmic justice. That whatever was happening here in this situation that was really breaking your back, so to speak. And I just saw 1122 as I said that. This circling back, it's like a timeline loop, that you get a do-over, and that this person is going to be eclipsed right out of your life is what that's giving me. So for the purpose, you're getting the Knight of Wands. I love that, because that's about taking action. For decision, we're getting the Tower. 10 of Wands, we're getting the Ace of Swords. Emperor, we're getting the Knight of Pentacles. At the back, we have the 10 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, the 9 of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and the King of Wands. Underneath everything is the King of Swords. And the King of Swords understands the truth in a situation. The King of Swords not only knows what they think is true, but they understand everybody's truth. They're very diplomatic. They're very fair. And so because of your fairness in the situation, and I'm already seeing the Ace of Swords here too, which we'll get to in a minute, but this tells me that you have been able to really discern the truth in this situation. And that's why your good karma is coming in. You're able to loop around and get a do-over. That's what this eclipse energy is telling me, that you were able to discern the truth, so your good fortune can come in. You can receive all of your good karma now. But let's get to why. Let's get to understanding this whole big picture. So I'm going to do one more layer of clarifiers, and then we'll get into each one. But this is certainly about you getting a do-over, and that is your karmic justice based on whatever happened with this person who's in your energy. So there's the Ace of Wands, the Hierophant, the Knight of Cups, the Emperor again, the Moon. Underneath, we have the 9 of Swords again, the 6 of Swords, 7 of Swords. There's that Ace of Swords again, and there's that Knight of Wands again. Underneath everything is the World, but I have to turn that over to meet the YouTube guidelines. I'll turn that one over. But the World being underneath this deck is saying you have completed this cycle, which is why you're allowed to circle back and get a do-over. I see the Hierophant here. I see justice here. I'm seeing the Emperor here. So what this is telling me, just based on a surface level, is that you have learned so much in this situation. You've graduated. You took the test. You took the class. You took the test. You passed the test. And now you've graduated. So you can move on from this cycle with this person that looks like it was a love interest for you. If it's not a love interest, then it was someone that you have a deep love for. So make that make sense. If it's a sibling or a parent or a friend, you'll know what that is for you. For many of you, it will be a love interest, someone who's been very controlling in the situation. But because you've learned from that, you get a do-over with the eclipse. So for circle back, this is exactly what we're saying. This is your karmic do-over. This is your Ace of Wands. You get to tackle this in a whole new way because you've released these 10 wands, because you cut through it with the Ace of Swords, and now the universe is giving you a fresh start that's really going to push forward your purpose. So whatever that is for you. We use the example of screenplays and yoga studios, but make it make sense for you and your situation. So I think with this idea that you've been going round and round about, do I do it or do I not? Do I open the yoga studio? Do I write the screenplay? Do I just stay in my 9 to 5 job forever? What is that? You're getting the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. So you know it's time to put an end to this. You understand it's time to stop whatever that is that was preventing you from starting this new thing. And I can't help but think that it was this romantic partner in your life who may have been the one who was saying, no, definitely don't open a yoga studio. That will never make money for you. Or definitely don't write that screenplay. That screenplay you wrote back in college wasn't good anyway. Again, random examples, but that's what this feeling is, that you're putting an end to listening to the noise of this person, that you're deciding, no, I'm going to listen to the people who inspire me, the people who are already doing these things, the people who really want me to succeed. That's where you're going to put your energy into. So then with purpose, we're getting the Knight of Wands and the Hierophant, because you learned the lesson. The Hierophant is all about teaching lessons. But you've done that now. And so now you want to pursue this purpose with passion. And that is exactly what the Knight of Wands does. They chase down their passions and they don't stop until they fulfill their purpose. So with this Queen of Wands, we have the 10 of Wands and the 6 of Swords. Same energy coming through. That these 10 wands that you're carrying for this other person, it's time to escape that situation. That leads you right to who does inspire you, who wants you to succeed, who's going to help show the way, who's going to mentor you, who's going to say, this is how I did it, so why don't you try it like this? These are my advice. These are my tips for you to start your screenplay, for example. So then with decision is the Tower and the Knight of Cups. This is saying you are one decision away from burning down this foundation with this person who is probably not super supportive, and then you can follow your heart. You are one heart decision away from changing your life completely. And so this is supported here too with this 2 of Swords, that there's this person in your energy who stresses you out, who probably is not giving you the straight dope about things. The 7 of Swords, when we're talking about relationships, is not a good thing. This is someone who's not afraid to keep secrets. This is someone who's not afraid to do things behind your back. And you know that enough that it's stressing you completely out. And so this is the decision that you're about to make, that there's this need to burn this down, to release this energy. And it looks like even the universe with the Tower might get involved and find a way to help you, to sort of push you towards releasing this person. So whatever truth that is, that whatever truth you need that we see here with the Ace of Swords, the universe might help you and discover what that truth is, that last sword of truth that you need to really release this person, because we're seeing the sword of truth twice when it comes to this person. And I was saying that it feels like there's someone who might be in your energy who is perhaps controlling you. But with this Page of Swords, sometimes the Page of Swords is someone who likes to control with information. So I'm not saying that they're spying on you, because that's extreme. But they might be trying to find information, or trying to use information you've already given them and trying to use that to manipulate you in some ways. But that's how you're going to discover the truth of this person. If they're using information that you've already given them and they're twisting it around, or they're using it against you, that's going to be your clue that it's time for you to release this and eclipse this out and step into your Emperor power. Because we are seeing you show up as the Emperor twice, which I love that for you. So, but with this Emperor, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Moon. So this is telling me that, yeah, you are afraid. Definitely you are afraid to make this decision, which is why you've not made it. You're afraid to release this person, which is why you've not done it. But this moon here is telling me about this new moon in Aries that we've been talking about, this fiery energy that we want to take this moon card and circle back to this Ace of Wands and your justice. You're getting a do-over. You're getting a karmic time loop back in time so that you can do this again. And that's exactly what this new moon in Aries is telling me, and this eclipse energy is going to do, so that you can finally start doing the work the Knight of Pentacles, of writing that screenplay, of building that yoga studio, whatever it is for you. Make it make sense for you. But that's what this is saying. It's going to eclipse you right back in time so you can release this person and do the thing you always wanted to do since college, to use that example again. And then we're seeing with this very celebratory Three of Cups energy, when you finally find the people who do support you and want you to succeed, we have the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands. These are people. These are all people in your energy. There's a Queen of Wands, a King of Wands, and a Knight of Wands. Other people in your energy. Could be the same person because they're all the same suit, but it doesn't have to be. The important thing is there is a person or people in your energy who want nothing more than for you to succeed. They want to inspire you, they want to celebrate with you, and they want to make sure that that screenplay gets sold or that yoga studio gets its grand opening. These are the people who really want to do that for you because that was your karmic justice and your ability to circle back. Wow, I love this reading. I love it, love it, love it. So I do want to pull 2 oracle cards just to close this out. I'm being called to use this one. I don't use this one very often, but I do like it. So let's see if we can get another couple messages from the cards and see what else. So there's distracted, sidetracked, change, and delays. So this is certainly talking about this 2 of Pentacles and this 2 of Swords, where you're not making a decision. Right now, you're just kind of stuck in time and you're perhaps making delays because you don't want to face that this is something that needs to change. You're delaying writing the screenplay because you feel like it's never going to go anywhere anyway. So it's really important to look at how you're distracting yourself. So when you come home from your 9-to-5 job, let's say, instead of writing that screenplay, you just turn the television on or whatever it is for you. What's distracting you from writing that screenplay right now? And think about that. And then one day, someday, somewhere, another time. And this is what we're talking about. We're talking about you getting a do-over in time. You get to circle back. There's an eclipse and a new moon in Aries. With an Ace of Wands and karmic justice, you get to circle back. I cannot express how important that is, that you are getting a do-over with this, and it's going to push your agenda for your life purpose forward, and it's one decision away from changing your life forever. So, wow, amazing. Please let me know how this was resonant for you, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.